Hello, everybody. It is Matt, and it is Maniac Monday, and I am back at you with yet another review. Before I roll on to any of that, I want to wish each and every one of you a great morning, evening, dawn, day, or dusk, all that lovely stuff, because life really is too short as is. Do me a really huge favor and like, share, and subscribe. I love seeing your beautiful faces when you are here. I know I'm here an awful lot, but I have an awful lot on my plate to review. And one last little tidbit of information. Check out the description box. I give you a bigger bite of every single movie of every single day. I give you a brief synopsis, which I didn't write that. I'm not much of a writer. I'm more of a talker. I give you your starring cast, your runtime of the cut I am watching, your director, a link for a trailer, a link for where you can watch this bad boy for free, and if you decide, you can help support Matt's Movie Mania and toss me a couple of bucks. So with all that said in mind and all that out of the way, let's roll on to the film of the day. And today's is a very interesting one. It came out back in 2021. It runs at an hour and 6 minutes and like 26 seconds or so. So just under that hour and 7 minute marker. It is directed by none other than Christopher J. Lara. I hope I pronounced your last name correct, Chris. He also is a star in this. He wrote it, and he also did. I can't remember if he did any of the editing or not, but he did a lot. He is a jack of all trades when it comes to making films, and he really showed that with this one. What is the Warrensdale Mystery about? Well, it's about a group of three guys who set out on a yearly, their annual getaway that they always do every Christmas into New Year's Eve. They end up going missing. And along the way, they find they don't find the bodies of any of the three victims. They do find a mysterious fourth person, a body buried in the backyard, like a year later after they have disappeared. Turns out to be a completely different guy, and this guy had a troubled path. He was on drugs, just not a really the best person at all, but he ends up going missing back in the 90s, and they find him like 12 years later. It is, and the extra added twist to that is he died very recently. So there's that mystery on top of everything. They find a butcher knife that has blood on it, but it is not human blood. They find out after examination that it is deer's blood. So there is also that extra added twist. And then one of the men mysteriously starts showing up all over the country years after the disappearance, and nobody can really find him. They have all this CCTV footage that is showing him wandering around different areas. Not really wandering, but on a path to go somewhere. Now, this movie is very interesting the way it's set up. It's set up through almost like a documentary murder investigation channel type of TV episode. I really enjoyed it because I am a huge fan of those kinds of shows, and I really liked the way that they set this one up. They have a very interesting detective that comes along and tells different sides of the story. You have different people that were involved in the story. You have from the people that the people that have the timeshare cabin, which is the three men went to. It as them, the next occupants, they are the ones that find the vehicles, and everything all kind of wonky and kind of awry inside of the cabin when they got there. The door is open, the TV's flickering, there's food on the table, things of that nature, and it looks like somebody was there. One of those kind of ordeals. It's very interesting. And then it follows them for a little while, and kind of puts a little bit of suspect blame on them, just because they are the first people to kind of stumble upon the situation. They are then portrayed as suspects for just a short while, but then things just don't add up correctly to where the police can do any kind of formal investigation against them, because they have done no wrong. They are just simply bystanders that wandered onto a horrible situation type of thing. And then you also have one of the man that they Troy is his name. Troy is the one that is you see years later on the CC footage. They have his brother on there, who is a gang member, doing an interview as well. He doesn't really have anything, I would say, not negative, but not anything that really helps the investigation type situation. As a matter of fact, none of the people being interviewed, they just have the basic knowledge of what's going on. And it's done in a fashion that makes you guess the entire time, and I really liked that. It keeps you on your seat, wondering what's going to happen next. The ending is very interesting. It leaves it wide open for the sequel, which I will be reviewing next week. I don't like to review sequels the same day or same week, and not unless they're both really short. But I will be reviewing the sequel to this next week. Now on to the three things that I love my movies to meet. Audio, first and foremost, is actually very crisp, cool, and clean, as I like to say. There is no weird audio bumps or glitches in it where you can't understand what a character is saying. It is very clean sounding, so I really appreciate that. So I'm going to give it an A+ on that end. On to my second thing, which is dialogue. Dialogue is very good in this. It's very fresh and hip and cool. Granted, it's supposed to take place back in 2009, I believe, is when the disappearances happened. But it was made in 2021. So it's got that fresh, hip, cool dialogue that we all like. It definitely sounds like how people would normally talk. So I really enjoy that. There's definitely a nice attention to detail when it comes to the writing on this. So the dialogue is going to get an A+ on that end as well. On to editing. Editing is one of the main things that I like my movies to meet a certain high criteria on, and this one definitely is edited together very fluidly, very smooth. It has a nice forward momentum. It never loses its momentum in that process. It never gets dull or boring. I never found myself looking at the time to see how much time is left on the movie itself. I was just completely glued to my screen from beginning to end. So the editing is very smooth. It doesn't have any weird jump cuts that don't make sense or don't add anything to the story itself. There's no continuity errors due to editing. It's very smooth. I really liked how this one was put together. It's put together very, very, very well. And on to my final score of 1 through 5. Oh, whoops, I forgot to say it's going to get an A plus on editing as well. And on to my final score of 1 through 5. I'm going to give this thing a 4.5 out of 5. It's almost there to that 5.0 material. My only complaint, it could have been like 10 minutes longer. I would have liked a little more found footage, because there is some found footage sprinkled in throughout there. It's mostly done through CCTV footage and done through the investigation discovery type channel style of filmmaking. So it's very interesting how it does it. I really, really enjoyed this movie. I hope you guys all check it out. It's well worth the hour and 6 minutes to watch this. Sorry, my cat is deciding to get up in the video. That happens sometimes when you have a couple of them. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. I hope all of you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. I love your faces. And as always, peace.